Good morning, Grade 11s. For those who are joining us again, nice to see all of you. For those who are new to us today, I'm Mr. Farrell and we're continuing tourism. So, Grade 11 tourism cats. What we did last week, we'll do a bit of a recap before we move on. We were chatting about the different types of currencies there are in the world, like the pound, the dollar, the yen, even like the peso and all that. One trouble we did find in last class was a bit of confusion with the pound and the euro. So the pound, when you guys remember, the pound belongs to only United Kingdom. Then the euro belongs to any European country that belongs to the European Union. It's the euro. That is why Brexit, we all remember that, they will now definitely can only use the pound. So before we move on, are there any questions about the names of currencies or misunderstandings? Okay, great. So our new topic for today are facilities where you can exchange currencies or facilities exchange. So now, this is all about going to another country. How can you get that country's money and currency in the correct way? So you can either do it before you leave, your country, you get the money, then you leave for your trip, or you leave and you get the money at your destination, depending where you're going, what type of currency you need. So tourists can exchange their local currency and their destination currency at their home country, of course, on arrival in their destination country at their foreign exchange bureau, we'll get into now. At international restaurants, they even do exchanges, and also, of course, international national banks. You know, you'll even find cruise liners that actually exchange currencies. So when visiting SA, how can they change their currency? So all of our large banks, Absa, Nedbank, FNB, all of that can exchange currency. Travel agencies also exchange currencies. All major airports have facilities, mainly being Bureau de Change and all that. There's foreign exchange retail branches. Granny's is an example. And then, like I said, even major hotels and cruise ships, you can change your currencies on. So now, requirements. What do you need in order to get this different currency? So the reason they have requirements is so that a person living in South Africa can't just go buy dollars and keep them and then exchange them back when the currency is at a better place. So in order to buy currencies, you have to prove that you have a flight ticket and or with your visa as well. So you walk in there and you show them that you're going to this country, and then from that, they're now able to sell you that currency from that country. That makes sense. Then we have a travel wallet. The travel wallet you can get from these exchange facilities, but it's not an actual wallet. It's a card that you're able to load different currencies on the same card. So you could have 30 euros, $50, and 30 pounds all on the same card with different currencies, which is quite useful. So a quick Q&A. So as you guys have seen, I've dropped the Nearpod link. So if you guys could open that, you'll see there's 3 questions with just yes or no. So if you guys could just follow with us. So the first question, yes or no, have you ever exchanged money? Just put in your answers there. By exchanged money, I mean go to one of these facilities. Perfect. See, there's 20 of us. Perfect. Which facility did you make use of? Lastly, was it an enjoyable and easy experience or confusing and time wasting? So I'd like to click yes for enjoyable and easy and no for confusing and time wasting. Okay. Everyone put that in. Let me just bring it across. Okay. So we see that 14 of you out of the 20 have exchanged money, where 6 of you have not ever. That's all right. Hopefully after this, you guys will have a bit more experience and won't be so nervous to exchange. Then, was the facility in good condition? 12 of you guys said yes. 8 of you guys said no. And lastly, the main one, was it an enjoyable and easy experience, or no, was confusing and time wasting? And I'd say a lot. I see 15 of you guys said, out of the 20 of you guys said it was time wasting and confusing. So hopefully after this, it's a little bit less confusing until you waste a little bit more of your time. So quickly, to make sure we're all on the same page and all that, quickly got a little bit of a scenario, like work activity we're going to do together in class. So the scenario is Solomon is flying from OR Tambo International Airport to New York. He will have a stopover in Britain. In New York, Solomon will attend a Broadway performance, and then he'll dine at the hotel. Solomon will then also fly to Japan, where he'll spend a few days sightseeing in Tokyo, and then come back to South Africa. On his way back to South Africa, he will have a stopover in Italy. So there's just 4 quick questions. So what are the currencies of the country Solomon is visiting? Where can Solomon exchange his currency? In South Africa, when can Solomon exchange his foreign currency? And lastly, 4, how do you think Solomon's visits to the other countries affect his local communities? I'd like you guys to keep this question in mind because we do come back to it as a bit of an opening. So let's do it all together. So, question number 1, what type of currency? So he's going to New York, which is, we know, the US dollar. Going to Britain, so he's the pound, not the euro, folks are still confused. Japan, they use the yen. And in Italy, because it's part of the European Union, use the euro. Then question number 2, where can Solomon exchange his currency? Foreign exchange bureaus, local commercial banks, airports, hotels, cruise liners, depending what you guys want to put there. Where can Solomon exchange it in South Africa? So there's the Tower Bureau to Change, there's the Standard Bank, there's ABSA, there's Nedbank, there's First National Bank, and there's even restaurants that will do it for you as well. And then lastly, how do you think Solomon's visits to other countries affect his local communities? So now we're looking about the benefits of tourism and all that. So in New York, Broadway staff that Solomon visits will benefit from the sale of tickets. The hotel where he drinks and eats and sleeps will benefit as he's paying customer. Even the waiter gets tipped. And then when he goes to Japan, he'll be the tourist attraction Tokyo workers will be benefiting from Solomon, who is a paying tourist. So quickly going to this buy and sell. So there's a new concept with currencies, but it's actually quite an important one. The buy and sell rates are where and how much you can buy currencies for. So every bureau de change or foreign exchange bureau you go to, they'll have their buy and sell rate. So now the buy rate is the rate at which that business will buy the currency from you. So if I'm going there and I want to sell my rands so I can buy euros, I'll have to look at their buy rate. And the sell rate's the opposite, the rate at which the foreign exchange will sell currency to you. That's saying if I have my rands, they will buy rands at this one rate. But if I'd like to sell my rands, they'll only buy it at this rate. So for example, if you go to Europe with the US dollar, you go to a provider, you would sell euros to you at the sell price. But when you return from your trip, you will buy back your leftover euros at the buy price. So you remember this is all a business. So the sell rate is always going to be higher than the buy rate because they want to make money. They can't buy and sell currencies at the same rate, otherwise they wouldn't make any money. So that is quite important. So you should definitely keep an eye out when looking at currencies at the buy and sell rate. And not all providers have the same rate. Providers are able to get to choose their rate. Obviously, it's connected to the actual currency as a standard, but all providers are able to do what they want. So a little bit of advice I can give you guys for those who are wanting to travel abroad or exchange in foreign currency. So I would choose a local bank to exchange as they give you a better rate with lower fees. I would always have a mix of cash and money on a card when traveling because you never know what will happen. Wallet could get stolen, you can hide the cash. And you know, we live in Africa, so we always know the cash is king. Then before you actually buy, I would compare multiple banks by looking at their buy and sell prices before you decide where to exchange. As I said, they all have different ones. And your local banks are definitely going to be better than your international banks. Travel wallets can be used when traveling with large amounts of money. As I was saying, you can have your different currencies all on a card, which makes it a lot easier. Always have a credit card for emergencies. You never know what's going to happen and all that. It's always good to be able to pay for something and then pay it back later than not be able to buy anything at all. And large sums of cash should always be spread out with your belongings. So if you take 5,000 Rand, You know, keep 1,000 rand in your wallet, keep 1,000 rand in your one shoe, keep 1,000 rand in your backpack, and keep another 2,000 rand somewhere inside your bag. No, just in case. It just makes it easier. But don't forget where you put your money there. So some of the questions we will ask when chatting about currencies and all that. So we'll go through some of them to make sure everyone's good. Can foreign currency be purchased online? Yes, it can be. As long as you have the correct documents, like I was saying, the visa and the flight tickets to prove that you're actually needing another currency. Yes, it can be purchased online with the delivery to either your home or work. If I was you guys and you buy currency online, I would prefer it gets delivered to your work. It's just a safety security issue. You never know. How often does a currency fluctuate? So currency fluctuates with anything all the time, always. The only time a currency will not fluctuate is when the stock market has shut down up until when it reopens the next morning. As soon as it opens, then the market can change again. So currencies will always fluctuate depending on the economic factors around. Why purchase foreign exchange in South Africa? Would it not be better to do it overseas? Good question. You know, it does make sense. If you're going to America and you want dollars, you'd get them in America. Now, what it comes down to, you get a better rate in South Africa because in America, they will buy your rands for a lot less than what you can buy rands for into dollars in South Africa. The rate's just better and the fee is less. Is there always a fee when converting currencies? Not always, but mostly yes. It's an admin fee. You know, if you do anything, there's obviously going to be an admin fee. Plus, when you're moving large sums of money, that also becomes an admin fee in there as well. So, but if your friend has dollars and you have rands and you pay him 15 rand for every dollar, obviously there wouldn't be a fee there. Now, moving on to a new concept, which is quite important, especially for those tourism individuals. Multiplier effect is how we can tell if international tourism is benefiting and by how much is it benefiting South Africa. So the definition of the multiplier effect is the number of times money spent by an inbound international tourist circulates through a country's economy. So the specific things to look at is you're looking at international tourists. So it's not locals or anything. We know the definition of a tourist is leaving your place of living. So this is all international tourists, and it's looking at the money they bring in here. So if you look at that cool little graph I have on the right there, also in the shape of a dollar, for those that didn't see, you see the travelers coming in, and obviously they need transport. How are they going to go around? Car, plane, bicycle, bus, all of that. All of those things cost money, and they would not be used, or those oaks wouldn't have a job, for say, if those international tourists didn't come. Then there's food, there's accommodation, there's activities, there's your travel agency, there's fuel, all of this stuff international tourists buy. And now with this, it all circulates throughout the entire country. Then it goes down to bakery, goods and services, a bank, and all of that. So all of the money that you use as a tourist coming into a country circulates through it. We're about to go into detail more. But this is why we say it's so important for international tourists to come to South Africa. As we know, tourism was the largest industry of our GDP before coronavirus, and that's why it's becoming such a problem, because with no international travel, the multiplier effect of South Africa is now almost dribbled to a stop. So you need those international tourists to come in to move money around the country, because it's extra money the country wouldn't have, that's only having because it's a favorable tourist destination. Is everyone understanding? You guys with me? Perfect. So as you see, don't just make a purchase, make an impact. So that's exactly what these guys, what they're talking about is, as an international tourist, you spending money in that country is money that would have never ever been spent in that country. So now that money can be used to build and improve medical and educational facilities for locals, better infrastructure, job development, job creation. So international tourism is very important, especially if your economy is built upon tourism, which is large of South Africa's. Now we can look at direct and indirect benefit, which is quite important. So direct benefit is you benefiting from a tourist for coming and spending money at your business. So that would be, for example, me going to America and me staying in a hotel there. That hotel is a direct benefit from me as I'm a paying customer. Everyone understand? Then an indirect benefit would still be me being the benefit, but my benefit just being shared around. So the indirect benefit would be me going to the hotel, paying the hotel. Because of that, that hotel can now pay its workers, its maids, its cleaners, its waiters. So now they get the indirect benefit from my earth, which is all part of the multiplier effect, if you think about it. So before we move on, are there any questions? Okay. Okay, everyone seems like they're okay. Before we move on into that, outcomes. But in a lesson, you, the students, the learner, should be able to identify facilities that exchange currency, which we can. Switch between the two types of facilities, which we can. We're looking at the banks versus retail, commercial versus international. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to explain and illustrate the multiplier effect and be able to differentiate between direct and indirect benefits and list examples of each. So we've just gone through that. So I did ask if there are any questions, but you're more than welcome to put your guys' hands up. Okay, well, everyone seems like they're on the right road. So I quickly got a worksheet. I have uploaded it in the portal, so if you guys can just download that, and I'll read it through it together and see if there's any questions. So yeah, this is out of 20 marks. So no, it should be perfectly fine. So scenario A, this bookkeeper made use of JFK taxi services to travel from the airport to a hotel in Manhattan. He paid the taxi driver $40 for the ride. Scenario B, Mr. Steyn enjoyed a lovely $6 glass of wine at the hotel's restaurant one evening before heading out to go and meet a friend at a local art exhibition. So quickly, for 1.1 and 1.2, I just need you guys to indicate whether it's a direct or indirect benefit in the local community. What effect does it have? So we've just gone through it. I'm sure you guys, it is quite simple. And like I said, guys, this meeting and lesson is being recorded and will be able for you guys to go have a look back on. Then question 2, in a paragraph or with a picture, please show them how the multiplier effect would work in the scenario B. In scenario B, I'd like you guys to either a little picture or a paragraph, up to you, or you're just telling me, because of Mr. Steyn, how does the multiplier affect? Who gets what? And because remember, Mr. Steyn's doing lots of things. How is he getting to the restaurant? How is he going to the art exhibition? And all of that. You got to think about those little things that you would use locally. Question 3, read the following scenario and answer the questions below and give the tourist some advice. So Mr. Smith, a South African, is traveling to New York to attend a business conference. He will be there for a week and he requires 10,000 Rand in foreign currency for expenses and spending money. What I'd like you guys to do is list the facilities where we'll be able to exchange this money for 3 marks. So you guys can just list 3. Like I'm sure if you're going to go, are some of those in the top of this presentation. I'm sure some of you guys will use. 3.2, give Mr. Smith some advice on what you will need to exchange money. So those looking at requirements and advice and all that, which we have gone through. Then Smith did some calculations and realized that you will need more money than what he exchanged. 4.1, Mr. Smith wants to be able to exchange more money as soon as he arrives. Indicate where he will be able to do this. So remember, Mr. Smith is busy traveling to America. How? So when he gets, as soon as he arrives, where is he going to be? Wink, wink. 4.2, where can Mr. Smith also find the facility mentioned in 4.1? So yeah, you guys should be able to put that 1 + 1 = 2 together. Then in 4.3, indicate to Mr. Smith why it is more efficient to exchange his money at a foreign exchange bureau than at the hotel he is staying at. So we went through this about the fees and all of that. The foreign exchange bureau, currencies are displayed with 2 numbers. Yes, we spoke about the 2 numbers. So 4.1 listed 2 numbers. 4.4.2, I would like you to explain in short to Mr. Smith how these 2 numbers work and what you need to look out for and what numbers he'll be using when getting currency and selling currency. Question number 5, Mr. Smith ran out of cash on his last day. He doesn't want to spend a lot of time to go and exchange money. He is at a souvenir shop to buy his wife a gift and sees an ATM nearby. Mr. Smith is not certain if his card will work at the ATM. Provide him with a list of cards that would be able to use at the ATM. I'm sure some of you guys do your internet banking and all of that for your cool clothes and all that. So I'm sure some of you guys have an idea. But yes, we did chat about it. So yeah, and if you don't know, just do a little bit of research and see if Mr. Smith is going to America. So which local cards can be used in an ATM in the States. And that's it, guys. I would just like to thank everyone for sitting down and enjoying that. One piece of homework I'd give for you guys is next week, if you can ask about the Big Mac Index. Ask your parents, this is for extra credit. If anyone can come to me in our next lesson and describe the Big Mac Index to me, they'll be worth more. And yeah, thank you guys for your time and appreciation. I hope everyone's got a clear understanding. The homework is to be submitted before the start of the next lesson online through the portal. But I will stay on the meeting for an extra 5 minutes for anyone of you who would like to stay and chat and ask any questions or anything like that, or just another question about the homework. Perfect, guys. Well, have a great rest of your day, and see you guys next.